Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade biscuits and gravy. This is one of those breakfast comfort foods that's either a hit or a miss at restaurants, depending on where you go. But the recipe I'm using today is a hit every time. First, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps my channel grow. And let's get cooking. I haven't had biscuits and gravy in a really long time, so I'm really looking forward to these today. They're not hard at all to make, but I know in the mornings, a lot of times we're just so busy we don't have time. So if you need to go easy on yourself and buy canned biscuits, do that. But at least try to make the gravy from scratch because it's really good. Either way, I'm going to show you how to make both. And here's what you're going to need for the biscuits. 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, 1 1/4 teaspoon salt, 6 tablespoons chilled butter, and you'll see that I've already got mine cut into small pieces, and then 1 cup cold buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, you can do what I did and just substitute 1 cup whole milk, but add 1 tablespoon of either white vinegar or fresh lemon juice. Stir it up and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. And it should have the exact same effect. Now here's what you're going to need for the gravy. 1 package of pork sausage. You'll need 1/3 cup all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons butter, 2 cups whole milk, and salt and pepper to taste. So let's get started. In a large mixing bowl, I'm going to combine all the dry ingredients for our biscuits. That's the flour, the baking powder, the baking soda, and the salt. Just mix it up real quick so everything is evenly dispersed. And then we cut in the chilled butter. For this, I'm using my pastry cutter, which I also chilled, by the way, but you can use a fork if you don't have one. You definitely don't want to use your bare hands because the warmth of your hands will melt the butter, and we need it to stay as cold as possible while we break it down. It should look something like this when you're done. It's the same consistency as pie dough. Now we can add the cold buttermilk and mix it with a spatula just until it's blended and forms a shaggy dough. You don't want to overmix at this point. And don't worry if it's really sticky because we're going to be putting plenty of flour onto our flat surface and lightly kneading it there. This should be enough flour, but you kind of have to eyeball it. Now I'll place the dough on top. With some flour on my hands, I'll form it into one cohesive mass and sort of flatten it out. I'll then fold it in half and flatten again. This will give our biscuits those flaky layers, so I'll do that 1 or 2 more times and then I'll take out my rolling pin. I'll put a little flour on my rolling pin and then lightly roll out the dough to where it's about 1/2 inch thick. I don't know if this shows up on camera, but you can see little bits of butter just beneath the surface here, and that's actually a good thing because when it melts in the oven, you know you're going to get those flaky layers. All right, so now I'm going to take my biscuit cutter, flour it as well so the dough doesn't stick to it, and then in a straight down and up motion, I'm going to cut out the biscuits. I'll place this onto a baking sheet that's been lined with parchment paper and then on to the next. I'll be re-rolling the excess dough and cutting more biscuits from it, even if they don't look as pretty, because I don't like anything to go to waste. Now into the oven at 425 degrees they go for about 12 to 14 minutes. So these biscuits turned out nice, beautiful golden brown, and they seem to have fluffed up nicely. So I'm going to quickly put them into this basket and cover them up so they stay warm while I make the gravy. But look at this one up close. You can see that it's got those nice little flaky layers. Now I'm putting a little olive oil into a large saucepan and I'm going to cook the pork sausage in it over medium heat. I just break it up into smaller pieces and cook it until it's fully browned. Even though the sausage has rendered a little grease, we're going to need every bit of that and more for our gravy. So I'm going to clear a spot and add those 2 tablespoons of butter. When it's all melted, I'll add in the flour. The sausage is going to absorb it all, but if the sausage weren't here, you would see that we're basically making a roux with equal parts fat to flour. Once the flour is cooked, I'll add half of the milk and start mixing continuously so we don't get any clumps. It takes a little while for the gravy to start thickening up, but it will happen. Then you can add the rest of the milk and repeat the process. This gravy is looking so good. All we need to do now is season with salt and plenty of crushed black pepper. And this is ready to be poured over our freshly baked biscuits. While everything's still nice and hot, I'm going to go ahead and serve myself. And I like to split open these biscuits. Look at that. You can see all the layers already. Ooh, and they're still nice and hot too. I could devour this just with some butter and some jam, but today we've got something better, and that's this homemade gravy. I'll go ahead and spoon some on top. My mouth is already watering just looking at this. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. My oh my, I'd forgotten how much I love biscuits and gravy. This isn't something that I make all the time, as I told you earlier, but for like a special occasion, if you want to do something a little extra special for your family, this fits the bill. I hope you try it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and click that notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.